Imagine robbing somebody and then turning around and offering them a one-time check that barely covers the amount that you stole. This is what is being proposed right now by these $2,000 stimulus checks. Trump tweeted this a while back, suggesting the possibility that $2,000 would be issued to every tax-paying citizen because of the tariffs that he enacted a few months ago. Let me first explain this whole backstory, and let me then tell you why this proposed stimulus check is a very bad idea in the long and sad history of very, very bad ideas. So if you remember back to earlier in 2025, Trump enacted these tariffs on foreign countries. Tariffs are basically taxes that foreign businesses need to pay in order to be able to sell their goods here in America. The thought behind that was that American businesses would be protected and would have an advantage because they don't need to pay this tax, this tariff. But let me ask you guys a question. Who in the end pays for these tariffs that were enacted? Let me tell you the answer now. It's us. When foreign businesses have to pay an extra surcharge on their goods, they have to pass that along somehow, and they just bake it into the price of these goods that they import to us. So when you're walking around Walmart and you see an increase in prices, and you see, every time you come around, every time you shop at Walmart or Target or wherever, the increase in prices, it's in part due to the tariffs that were enacted. It's just common sense. Businesses have to pass on their costs somehow to their consumers, otherwise they would quickly go out of business. So just to be clear, there's been no formal legislation on this, and there's been no formal official announcement of this. This is just a tweet that Trump has tweeted out. It's just something that Trump so far has proposed, and by himself, he can't just start issuing people's checks. It requires congressional approval, and it has to go through a whole thing. Guys, remember the last time when the government started giving people a whole bunch of money? Oh yeah, you remember that time, right? That was during the pandemic. That's when they were giving out stimulus checks left and right to people. They were giving out PPP loans and EIDL loans and a whole bunch of other things. By the way, a lot of those grants and PPP loans turned out to be completely fraudulent and basically just squandered and wasted a tremendous amount of our money. So then let me recap what happened next. After the stimulus checks, after the PPP loans and the massive, massive money printing, that resulted in hyperinflation. Things soaring, spiking in prices like we've never seen before. Obviously the economy got overheated, assets rose to a record level, prices rose to an astronomical level, and as a result, the Fed had to raise interest rates faster than they've ever done in the past 40 years in order to combat hyperinflation. This is what happens when you just start offering people more money. Hyperinflation. The dollar is no longer worth $1 anymore. It's worth like 50 cents. It results in currency debasement, people's savings getting shrunken and shriveled over time. It just leads to a domino effect that leads to a horrific cycle of events that really impacts the middle class and the working poor people especially, because they can hardly afford these economic shocks. But yet here we go again, more and more of the same thing. I'm beginning to think that America is becoming this third world country. It's the only thing that saves America from becoming a third world country is the fact that the American dollar is still the reserve currency of the world. Look at other third world countries like Venezuela, like South Sudan, like Zimbabwe. These countries were crippled by the government printing money like mad just to get out of one cataclysm or another. And what was the result of that? A massive, massive price hikes, food shortages, basically, essentially economic collapse in these third world countries. In Zimbabwe, there's pictures of bills that are 100 trillion Zimbabwe dollars. That is absolute madness. I mean, people's lives were completely destroyed because of this. People's savings just completely got wiped out. Their money was completely useless. I feel like the government just never learns, you know. We just want these stimulus checks, and people just think, oh wow, you know, that $2,000 that is being proposed would really help us. No, it won't. Please wake up and smell the coffee. It's not going to be like that. It's going to make things worse. Every time the government tries to quote unquote help people, it results in just catastrophe. I would run away if the government ever tried to give me any money, because I know the strings that are attached to that money. It's always the same thing, man. Like, we can never help ourselves, right? We never learn. People are suffering in these countries. They have completely ruined their lives, and there's no easy answer. There's no easy solution to fix all this. We can't just keep printing money. That is not the solution. That is just kicking the can down the road for our future generations, our sad children and grandchildren, to pick up the bill for us in order to save ourselves from these current mistakes and these current errors that we're making now. We can't keep kicking the can down the road. We have to just man up. You know, I hope that the $2,000 stimulus never comes. It's just going to result in this worldwide catastrophe yet again, and it's going to add more fuel to the fire of hyperinflation, money printing. The cycle just never ever ends. And you know, in these third world countries, because of such severe currency debasement, the only thing that people gravitate towards and try to hang on to is actual things like physical gold, because their fiat money is getting debased so severely. Physical gold, that's like how, you know, people in third world countries basically preserve the little money that they do have by buying gold, because gold is inherently scarce. It has a natural scarcity to it. It basically gains its value because it is rare, as opposed to what we call our fiat money, which is based on nothing except trust and confidence in the government. Yeah, that's what fiat money is. It's just worthless. It's not attached to anything valuable per se. It's just valuable because the government says it's valuable, essentially. It's sad, but like people in Venezuela, people in Zimbabwe, going back to, like, you know, a lot of other third world countries, Cambodia, any country that you can think of, people always considered gold to be the most valuable thing because their paper currency was completely shredded and worthless. Imagine that, like I alluded to, in Zimbabwe, there's such a thing as a bill for 100 trillion Zimbabwe dollars. Basically, their dollar is completely worthless. It's not even worth like the paper that it's printed on. That is where we are headed, man. You know, it is such an interesting time right now. The history books and the economic books are gonna study this period in our history and look back and think, God, what were we thinking? What were they thinking to do all this? This money printing, this hyperinflation is going to be a subject of intense economic study to just see what the hell went wrong. And I'll tell you what went wrong. Is the government just loosely printing out trillions and trillions of dollars. The national debt is somewhere around $32 trillion, if I'm not mistaken. That's about $329,000 for every American taxpayer. That will never be paid off, guys. That is just gonna balloon and spike and soar out of control if any more stimulus is given to the American people. It's such BS. It's such crap. And you think that $2,000 is gonna help people? All right, guys, let me ask you a question. When you received those stimulus checks back in the COVID days, I mean, some people didn't get it, but most people got something, right? What did people, by and large, do with those stimulus checks? Where did that money go? Did they save it or did they invest it somehow? No, they spent it. That money was spent faster than anybody has ever seen. That money just disappeared. People bought TVs, people went out and like splurged on new cars, people went crazy and took lavish trips. I mean, you would think that people would have some foresight and save that extra money for a rainy day, you know, for an emergency fund, to invest a little bit, to start learning how to invest. But no, it's just human nature, guys. It's that human nature at work. People just feel like, gosh, wouldn't it be nice to just take that little cruise, go out on that little dinner, take that little vacation, whatever, buy that TV. People don't understand this. As soon as money hits people's wallets, they have this intense urge to just spend it. Not everybody, but people by and large have no impulse control. They just want immediate gratification. They just want immediate joy. They want to just feel good now and forget about tomorrow. This $2,000 stimulus check is baloney. It's malarkey. And I hope it never passes. If it ever does come, my God, like, it's just repeating the whole cycle yet again. We never learn. We cannot help ourselves. Do not wish for that stimulus. Pray that it does not come. All right, guys, this is Alex from Low Key Millionaire here. It's good talking to you. Stay low key, stay humble, you guys. I'll see you in the next one. By the way, sorry about the cardboard boxes in the backdrop. It's the life of a business owner, the life of an entrepreneur, man. Those are gloves and stuff, masks. You gotta do what you gotta do. Thank you guys for understanding. Take care. Bye.